Okay, Brian. Good evening, everyone. I'm obviously not Alex Wyatt. Walter Jones here, representing the Missouri. Tonight I'm going to run the meeting. Alex has been out on trial, so we're going to do our best to have an efficient meeting tonight, but I welcome everyone who is in attendance tonight. So I'd like to call this meeting to order of the City Council of May 6, 2024. And we'd like to start with the invocation from our own Bo Segrist, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, thank you for such a wonderful day, God. God, thank you for such a wonderful city to work in, Father God. Lord, I thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here tonight and to serve in this capacity for such great people, Father God. Lord, I just ask that you lead and guide us tonight as we make decisions that will move the city forward. Lord, I pray for us to be unified in the decisions that we make. Lord, I pray, Lord, for clarity. And God, I just thank you for each and every person and the sacrifices that they make to be here, and Father God, the heart that they have for the city. Lord, I thank you for all the employees, Father God, as we come together and we start new and fresh things, God. And God, how you are unifying us. And God, I just pray that you just continue to lead and guide us. God, lead and guide me, Father God. And Lord, I just praise you and I thank you. And it's in your precious and holy name I pray. Amen.
You face the flag. Attention. Salute. Pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. If you'll call roll, please.
Yes, sir. Councilor Gwaltney.
Here.
Gear.
Here.
Allemont.
Here.
Wolverton. Here. Sims. Here. Jones.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Nelms. Andrus.
Here.
Harden. And President White is out.
All right, so we have 8, looks like 8 tonight. We have a quorum, it's been established. First on the agenda is the reading of the minutes from our council meeting on April 22nd. Do I have a motion to dispense with those readings and approve them as distributed? Mr. Wolverton, it sounds like, made the motion. And Mr. Gwaltney seconded it. Thank you. Any questions on that? Thank you, Mr. Segrist, for getting those out in a timely fashion. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. That passes 8-0. Okay. Board vacancies. Let's start with Ward 1 Beautification Board. Do we have a motion for Beautification Board?
Yes, the application period closed, I believe, today at 4:30, and we had one candidate, Mary Kate Carey. I would like to make a motion to place her as a Ward 1 representative for the Beautification Board.
Okay, there's a motion.
Second.
Okay, second by Mrs. Gear. Thank you for that. Any questions on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. That passes 8-0. Thank you, Mr. Sims. Okay, we've got a couple in Ward 4. So let's start with the Park Board appointment for Ward 4.
We held interviews, gosh, it's been 2 weeks now, we had 4 candidates. One had to withdraw at the last minute because he had, on the day of the interviews, signed a contract on house in Ward 5. So he kindly told us that and took himself off the list. We interviewed the other candidates and had some great people, and we are moving to appoint Joe Levens to the Ward 4 spot on Park Board.
Okay, that's the motion that's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mrs. Andrus. Any questions on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. It's 8-0, that passes. Okay, moving on to Library Board for Ward 4.
Yes, sorry, I have my microphone on. Yes, we had 3 candidates, also fantastic candidates. We interviewed them at the last week, and thank you all for helping, and those of you who came to interview. And we are recommending an appointment for Megan Cheek, who currently serves as the president of the Library Foundation Board. We are wanting to appoint her as the Ward 4 representative on the Library Board.
I will second that.
Okay, moved by Ms. Smith, second by Mrs. Andrus. And a quick comment, as we always do, and Mr. Segrist, if you'll, as you reach out and congratulate our appointees, it's always good to take the ones that were not appointed and just let them know of future openings. I think that's always helpful because obviously these people are coming in, they want to serve in some capacity within the city, and I know we have some, upcoming appointments that would be made. So if you can help us with that, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Good way to do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for Library Board, it's been motioned, seconded. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign? That's 8-0. Okay, and then do we have the HEC appointment at large position? That's carried over until the 20th. So we recommend anyone who wants to apply for that. I don't believe we have anybody who has applied yet, but that closes on the 20th. Excuse me. So we'll carry that over for that. Next, we have are there any additions to the agenda? Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the council agenda as distributed?
Second?
Okay, Counselor Allemán and Counselor Smith seconded that. Any questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign? 8-0, that passes. Okay, we don't have anything on the consent agenda, so we will move to old business. 11/02/24, bid opening date was held April 22nd, 2024 at 4:45, with the deadline for submission at 4:30 for the fire facilities maintenance bid. And we can update this to Chief Broadhead.
I'll take it.
So if you could provide a report, I was there with you at the bid opening, if you could provide a report for us.
Absolutely. You all should have a copy of this in front of you. We kind of summarized the bids, reached out to the lowest responsible bidder just to make sure that everything was in order because the price was a little lower than we expected to begin with, but they have done work for us before. We are confident with them. And so our recommendation is to go with Compass Fire for a 1-year total of $16,660 and a 3-year total of $49,980. But I have all the bids here if you have specific questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of information.
There is a lot.
So thank you for reviewing that. This item did not go to finance, so we would need a motion from the floor.
I will make a motion, but can you just remind us exactly what sort of work they're going to be doing for y'all?
Absolutely. So this is the most encompassing bid that we've done over the last 3. This includes fire sprinkler systems like we have in City Hall, all of our city buildings except for the old police department. We took that out. All fire extinguishers, hood systems, and anywhere where we have a commercial hood system, monitoring for all of our buildings, as well as cell dialers. That includes all of that, the yearly. This does not include service repairs, but it does have a quoted rate for service repairs, like a per hour rate in it.
Well, I would make a motion to accept Chief Broadhead's recommendation for accepting the bid from Compass Fire.
Second.
Okay, moved by Counselor Smith, second by Counselor Gwaltney. Any questions for the chief? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed by the same sign. 8-0, that passes. That's resolution 2453. Okay. Thank you, Chief. 140424, request for consideration of budget amendments for FY 23-24. Public Works, Vehicle Maintenance, and Natural Gas, coming to us from Berkeley Squires, and then we have a report from Finance. I've asked Ms. Smith to provide a report tonight from finance.
Yes, committee met last week and heard from Berkeley Squires, and the committee voted at this point 3-0 to recommend approving a transfer of $34,000 from the carryover fund balance to vehicle maintenance, and a transfer of $750 from another line item, travel and conference, to the natural gas line item. And the motion was made by myself and seconded by Counselor Harden.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Any questions or comments on the recommendation? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, 8-0, that passes. That's Resolution 2454. All right, 1504-24, request to authorize the mayor to sign Verizon wireless agreement, coming to us from Brandon Sims, IT Director, and a report from Finance. Mrs. Smith.
Yes, we heard from Brandon Sims, and the committee voted 3-0 to recommend approving the agreement with Verizon Wireless. Motion was made by myself and seconded by Counselor Harden.
Okay, thank you for that report. Any questions, comments on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, any opposed? Okay, 8-0, that passes. That's Resolution 2455. Moving on, 2404-24, request for consideration of budget amendments for FY 23-24 vehicle maintenance, coming to us from Blake Graves, and a report from Finance.
Yes, we met last week, heard from Blake Graves, and the committee voted 3-0 to recommend approving transfers of $1,500 for memberships and subscriptions and $1,500 from tuition and schools to the vehicle maintenance account. The motion was made by myself and seconded by Counselor Harden.
Okay, you've heard the report from Finance. Are there any questions on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes 8-0, and that's Resolution 2456. Okay, moving on to 1604-24, request for permission to add a crosswalk across Seminole Drive and East Hawthorne Road at the intersection with Oxmoor Road. So we have actually two ordinances for this. So let's first get a report from Public Safety. And that would be, I believe, Mr. Wolverton, if you could provide the report.
I have it.
Gwaltney.
Who has it?
I've got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Public Safety. I'm sorry.
It is. I think we shared it, but yeah, he's
Okay.
got the report.
Yeah, I've got the
Okay,
report.
Mr. Gwaltney, I'm
Ye-
sorry about that.
Yes, sir, Mr. Counselor Jones. The committee met last week, and after hearing from Cale Smith, the committee voted 4-0 to recommend approving the item, adding 2 ADA ramps at Seminole and Oxmoor, and the other at East Hawthorne and Oxmoor, with crosswalks at both intersections, a signalized crosswalk across Oxmoor with a pedestrian signal. The motion was made by Counselor Wolverton and seconded by Counselor Harden.
Okay, great. Let's see, Mr. Kendrick, if you could provide us our first reading.
Yes, there's an ordinance to provide for the installation of ADA ramps and 3 pedestrian crosswalks and signals across Oxmoor Road, Seminole Drive, and East Edgewood. Be it ordained by the city as follows. The Chief of Police is designated and directed to install ADA ramps and 3 pedestrian crosswalks and signals where required at the locations described here and below. Section A, a pedestrian crosswalk and ADA ramp across Oxmoor Road in the vicinity of the intersection of Oxmoor Road with Seminole Drive as depicted in Exhibit A. B, a pedestrian crosswalk and ADA ramps across Seminole Drive in the vicinity of the intersection of Seminole Drive with Oxmoor Road as depicted in Exhibit A. Section C, a pedestrian crosswalk and ADA ramps across East Hawthorne Road in the vicinity of intersection of East Hawthorne Road with Oxmoor Road as depicted in Exhibit A. Section 2, that all drivers of motor vehicles defined by the code shall yield to pedestrians located in the crosswalk as defined above. Section 3, any person who violates the provisions of this ordinance shall be punished as provided by Section 1-8 of the Code of Ordinances. Section 4, that all ordinances or parts of ordinance contrary to the provisions hereof are repealed. Section 5, any part of provision of the ordinance declared to be unconstitutional or invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, such holding shall not affect other parts or provisions of the ordinance. Section 6, the ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its adoption by the City Council and approved by the mayors or otherwise becoming law.
Thank you, Mr. Kendrick. So to be clear on this, this is the one for Seminole and Oxmoor, East Hawthorne and Oxmoor. Then we have a second one. So is there a motion for unanimous consent?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mrs. Smith made the motion, Mr. Sims seconded that. Mr. Segrist, if you'll call roll for unanimous consent.
Yes, sir. Counselor Gwaltney?
Yes, sir.
Gear?
Yes.
Allemán?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Nelms? Andrus?
Yes.
Harden? and President White.
Okay, that passes 8-0. And Mr. Kendrick, I have a quick question on Robert's rule. If we got a 4-0 approval from public safety, do we need a motion from the floor?
No, sir.
Okay, so that's been, it's obviously been it's been approved by public safety, so we don't need a motion from the floor. Okay, so now if you'll, are there any questions on, or comments about the motion?
I will just say, I thank Cale very much for being so amenable to working with me on this and getting this done so quickly. I think a lot of people are going to benefit from both the ramps and the sidewalks and the signals, so, crosswalks, I mean. So, thank you very much.
All right. Mr. Segrist, if you'll call roll for this particular ordinance.
Yes, sir. Counselor Gwaltney?
Yes, sir.
Gear?
Yes.
Allemán?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
And Andrus.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Jones, did we give unanimous consent? We have to do that.
Yeah, we did. We
Okay,
did
I'm
unanimous consent. That was 8-0 for
All right,
unanimous
thank you.
consent, and then,
I was sleeping again.
yeah. And then this is, that passes, it's ordinance 2898. I just keep.
Yes, sir.
Let me check there, okay.
That's correct.
Okay, okay, then the next item, and this is why you made it confusing, Mrs. Smith, so we added a whole nother, area. I know, but okay, so let's have a report from Public Safety. Mr. Gwaltney on the second ordinance.
Yes, sir. Counselor Jones, the committee met last week and voted 4-0 to recommend approval of adding 2 ramps and a crosswalk at Claremont and Oxmoor, and 1 ramp at West Hawthorne and Oxmoor with a crosswalk. The motion was made by Counselor Wolverton and seconded by Counselor Harden.
All right, great. Any questions on that? Okay, is there a motion for unanimous consent?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that was Counselor Gwaltney and Counselor Andrus who seconded that. And if you'll call roll for unanimous consent, Mr. Segrist.
Yes, sir. Counselor Gwaltney?
Yes, sir.
Gear?
Yes.
Allemán? Wolverton?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
And Andrus.
Yes.
Okay, that unanimous consent passes by a vote of 8-0. We already have the recommendation
I'm sorry,
from
Excuse me.
Public Safety.
Yeah, Counselor Jones, my apologies. Now I'm feeling like Mr. Kendrick. Did we have a first reading of the ordinance?
No, we haven't.
No, I was about to get him to do that.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
yeah, because I missed that. So let's have the first reading. Sorry about that.
It's
I
an ordinance
missed
to
that.
provide for the installation of ADA ramps and 2 pedestrian crosswalks across Oxmoor Road and Claremont Drive as described here and below. Be ordained by the City Council as follows. The Chief of Police is directed to install ADA ramps and 2 pedestrian crosswalks at the locations described below. Section A, the pedestrian crosswalk and ADA ramp shall be installed across Oxmoor Road in the vicinity of the intersection of Oxmoor Road with Claremont Drive as depicted in Exhibit A. B, the pedestrian crosswalk and ADA ramps across Claremont Drive in the vicinity of the intersection of Claremont Drive with Oxmoor Road as depicted in Exhibit A. Section 2, that all drivers of motor vehicles shall yield to the pedestrians within the crosswalks defined above. Section 3, that any person found guilty shall be punished as provided by Section 1-8 of the Code of Ordinances. Section 4, that all other ordinances or parts of ordinance contrary to the provisions hereof are repealed. Section 5, any part or provision of the ordinance declared to be unconstitutional or invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, such holding shall not affect any of the parts or provisions of this ordinance. Section 6, the ordinance shall become effective immediately upon passage by the City Council, approved by the mayors, or otherwise becoming law.
Okay, Mr. Kendrick, should we have the unanimous consent vote again?
Yes, sir. I think
That's what I thought, okay.
So
So,
moved.
let's have another motion for unanimous consent, I apologize.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Counselor Smith, and then that time I heard Gwaltney. Okay, so Gwaltney seconded that. I want to keep the procedure going, so I apologize, my mistake. So, Mr. Segrist, if you'll call roll again for unanimous consent after we've had the reading.
Yes, sir. Counselor Waltney,
Yes, sir.
Gear,
Yes.
Allemond,
Yes.
Wolverton,
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Andrews.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes 8-0, and we already have the recommendation from Public Safety, 4-0 to approve. So, Mr. Segrist, if you'll call roll for this particular ordinance.
Yes, sir. Counselor Waltney,
Yes, sir.
Gear,
Yes.
Allemond,
Yes.
Wolverton,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
and Andrews.
Yes.
Okay, that passes 8-0, and that is ordinance 2899. So we have passed 99 ordinances so far
Wow.
this year.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's exciting.
It's only May 6th. That's amazing.
Right. Okay, moving on to 050424, request for permission to add 14 parking spaces in the right-of-way at 65 Old Montgomery Highway for Covenant Presbyterian. Mr. Cale Smith brought that to us, and then a report from Public Works. Is that Mr. Wolverton?
Yep.
Okay, if you could provide us a report from Public Works.
We met last week, and after hearing from Cale Smith, the committee voted 4-0 to recommend approval pending the proper indemnification agreement. The motion was made by Counselor Harden and seconded by Counselor Sims. And this is to include angled parking, just to
Okay.
clarify that this item had come back to committee to discuss further, and that was the change.
Okay. Okay, are there any questions or comments on that?
Just in regards to that too, I mean, we have the resolution and it shows the parking, but just based on the number on the item, they actually, by going to angled parking, I believe it's 11 spaces now. So just wanted to.
It's approximately 11 spaces.
Approximately 11 spaces. But also just want to take the opportunity to say thank you to the church for working through this process and showing the rendering. I appreciate them because I know it cost some additional time, and so thankful to them for that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, just to
there's a-
clarify,
there's a-
does the item need to change at all because it names 14
No, that's
spaces?
the agenda item.
No,
Okay.
that's just, yeah, that's just.
Okay,
an agenda
perfect.
item. Okay. Okay, so the recommendation is coming from Public Works, 4-0. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by the same sign? 8-0, that passes. That's resolution 2457. Make sure that's the right number. I believe that's the right number. Okay, as I always, thank Alex for having public hearings set. So we have 3 tonight, so I'm excited about that. I hope you are. So let's just get right into it here. 070424, a public hearing set for May 6th, tonight at 6 p.m. for consideration of a sign variance at 3125 Independence Drive, Suite 300B, coming to us from Wyatt Pugh. Can we get a report from Special Issues, and that'd be Mrs. Smith?
Yes. The committee met actually on April 15th and heard from Michael Wright, who is, I believe, the sign person for this particular item. And the committee voted 5-0 to set a public hearing for tonight and refer this item out to the full council without recommendation pending the public hearing. The motion was made by Councilor Sims and seconded by Councilor Allen. And I would like to say that after that meeting, we had asked EW for something that would essentially say that they were the only tenant in the building who would be having a sign like this, and their landlord did in fact supply that. So, and I believe John has that with him tonight, so. Coming out of committee with a.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Smith. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll open the public hearing. And are there any comments from the public? Okay. Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead and close the public hearing. And then if you can provide a quick overview and then any questions from the council.
Certainly.
Brian, thank you. The request is for a variance to put a wall sign at a location other than the ground floor. The sign ordinance permits wall signs only at the ground floor on multi-level buildings. So, other than that, the sign is compliant, size, et cetera.
Okay. Great. Any questions?
I will tell you, so this building is on 31, and it sits back from the road with a parking lot in front. They do have a monument sign out in the front of the building, but EW has moved up to that top floor, and I think y'all are occupying the whole floor?
About 95% of the top floor.
Okay, so just so their patients coming from either side of 31 know where they are. They're putting the sign up there in that top corner.
Okay. Now, for this, any other questions? So for this, we would need a motion from the floor, since the recommendation from Special Issues was to, with no recommendation, so we.
I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, move on. Mrs. Smith, was that you, Mr. Wolverton? Or no? Okay, Counselor Allen. Okay, Smith and Allen. It's been motion seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Aye. So the 7-1, it approves. And that's resolution 2458.
Just give me a call tomorrow. and I'll- Thank you.
2458, is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, next, 08-04-24, public hearing set for May 6 at 6 PM for consideration of a sign variance at 401 West Valley Avenue, coming to us from Birmingham Wholesale. James Dean Visual Art, report from Special Issues.
Yes, we met last week and heard from Mr. Dean, who is on his way to the podium. And the committee voted 5-0 to set the public hearing for tonight, and I guess this was 2 weeks ago, and referred the item out to the full council without recommendation pending the public hearing tonight. The motion was made by Counselor Sims and seconded by Counselor Alleman. And this is the building that was formerly, what was that call center?
Was it Compass? I believe
Okay,
was.
Compass, it was the Compass Bank
Compass,
Call
yeah.
Center on the corner of West Valley and Green Springs.
Okay, I'd like to go ahead and open the public hearing. Are there any comments from the public? Seeing and hearing none, go ahead and close the public hearing. Any questions from the council, if you want to give us a quick overview of this?
Yes, sir. It's a pretty simple variance. It's for a ball logo to go above the sign. Brian, if you can show, I think it's maybe the first page. Or perhaps, yeah, I think it's that
That's
first
about how
page
far it looks
there.
from the street, too.
There we go. That ball logo exceeds the 36-inch allowance in the sign ordinance. So that's all it is.
Yeah, and I will say, I drove by, it's a really long way from the road.
It is.
Right.
You have to kind of strain your eyes to see what's up there, so.
Okay, any questions from the council? Okay, need a motion and a second to,
Move to
Make a
approve.
motion to approve.
okay, Counselor Andrus and then Counselor Gear. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye.
If you'll
7 to
call me
1,
tomorrow,
that
I'll issue
passes.
that permit.
Okay.
That's resolution
2459.
2459.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
I believe this is our last public hearing
it
set
is.
for tonight at 6 PM for consideration of a sign variance at 1944 28th Avenue South, Southern Intermediate Care, coming to us from Karen Hollis, Simmons Signs and Graphics, and Wyatt Pugh.
If you will just
Let's
go
have
ahead and sign
a
it.
motion, let's have a
Report.
report from Special Issues, please.
Yes, we met and heard from Mr. Morgan. The committee voted 5-0 to set the public hearing for tonight and refer the item out to the full council without recommendation pending this public hearing. The motion was made by Ms. Andrus and seconded by Mr. Alomar.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Go ahead and open the public hearing. Are there any comments from the public? hearing and seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And if you can give us an overview, and then we'll go have questions from the council.
Yes, sir. There are a couple of variances, 3 to be exact. The height of the letters exceeds 24 inches, which in the downtown district is the maximum, 24 inches. The height of the logo, the sort of winged S, I guess you'd call it, is 33 inches. So that's one variance. Variance 2, 1 wall sign per storefront is permitted in the downtown district. They have a request for 1 on the front and 1 on the side. The third variance is to allow internal illumination on both of the signs in the downtown district. That's not allowed in the downtown district.
Can I confirm that
External.
this sign is smaller? We discussed, it's been a minute. So this sign is smaller than the one it's replacing. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe it is.
It is, by a little bit, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, any motion from the floor?
I'll move to approve.
In second.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Andrews, second by Mrs. Smith.
I was just gonna make a comment, about the internal illuminations variance
Yes.
number 3, correct?
Mhm.
And the downtown district only allows external illumination,
External.
is that correct?
That's correct.
And that, so that is an option, even if you didn't have that variance, you could do external illumination. So I just wanted to ask the applicant if y'all had looked at that as far as a consideration.
And I will say there was some request from a counselor, I can't remember whom. It was you asking about the hours, because we wanted to make sure that, I mean, if they're just open during the daytime, external, I mean, and any illumination wouldn't really have been necessary. But I believe, I got an email from someone, and I believe the hours are until, yeah, I'm pretty sure the hours were to 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
They're open till
It was
8.
8, yeah, it was, they stay open till 8. So that was that answer. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that.
Okay.
Was there an answer? You didn't really get that?
Yes, sir. My client would prefer the lighted channel letters to put on the building. That's the reason why we're asking for a variance on it.
I appreciate that. I just want to let you know that I'm not in favor of the internal illumination. So if I end up voting no, that would be the reason why. I don't have a major concern with your other requests as far as the additional wall sign and the characters, because that does seem customary. But it's the internal illumination continuation. Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, it's been motioned, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by the same sign? No.
Aye.
Okay, 6-2, that passes. And that's resolution 2460.
I'll let you confirm that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pugh.
Yes, sir.
1904-24, request for consideration of sign variance at 2600 18th Street South, Robbie Mann's. This is just a report from Special Issues. Mrs. Smith.
Yes, we heard from Kenny Krackenberger and Cale Smith, and we voted 3-0 to set a public hearing for May the 20th at 6 p.m. and refer the item out to the full council without recommendation pending that public hearing. Motion was made by Ms. Andrus and seconded by Counselor Sims.
Okay,
So
so the
520.
recommendation from Special Issues is to set the public hearing for
May 20th.
May 20th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's 8-0, that passes, so that will be set for 520. 2004-24, request for consideration of sign variance at 2630 18th Street South, from Robbie Mann's also. Report from Special Issues.
It's just the same
That's
thing.
the second. Yeah, that's
Oh,
set
right, I
under
forgot, I'm
the
sorry, there was a
building
separate
on
building, so
site.
same
Yeah.
thing, we set the public hearing for 5:20 and sent it out without recommendation pending the public hearing that night.
Okay, recommendation is to set it for 5:20 as well.
Yes.
6 PM.
Mhm.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's 8-0, that passes. And 2304-24, request to set a public hearing for consideration of sign variances at 740 Shades Creek Parkway from Morgan Stanley. A report from Special Issues.
It's probably Andrus Aliman.
Yeah, it was fun.
Or Aliman Andrus,
The
one or
two
the other
A's.
one.
Okay, we heard from David Silverstein Jr. and voted 3-0 to set a public hearing for the 20th at 6 p.m. and refer the item out full council without recommendation pending public hearing. Motion was made by Ms. Andrus and seconded by Mr. Sims.
Oh, you just got in there just
Oh,
under
glad we got that straight.
the.
All right. Okay, setting for 5/20/24. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by the same sign? 8-0, that passes. Okay, 10/04/24, public hearing reset for May 20th at 6 PM for consideration of final development plan at 232 Green Springs Highway for Bank of America to permit the construction of 4,235 square foot single-family branch bank as well as associated parking, landscaping, and other site improvements. Planning and, a report from Planning and Development, Mrs. Andrus.
Yes, after hearing from Connor Patton, the committee voted 5-0 to refer this item to the full council without recommendation pending the public hearing, which was reset for May the 20th at 6 PM. The motion was made by Counselor Andy Gwaltney and seconded by Counselor Nick Sims.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to just carry this over for the public hearing, but thank you for that report.
You are welcome.
And I believe we've gotten through all of our items here. So is there a motion to approve the committee referral agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Counselor Gear moved, and Counselor Andrus seconded that. Any questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's 8-0, that passes. Okay.
Excuse me, Counselor John?
Yes.
I would ask that you guys would make a motion. I have a resolution that needs to be done to change names for the Truist account.
Okay.
To take previous names off of that account and add myself and Rebecca York.
That
Okay.
account deals with funds from the police department for narcotics. It's a restricted account for that purpose only. Yes.
What item would you like that to be put, at 06/05/24?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do the vouchers, and then we'll come back to that. Okay. So, Counselor Alaman reviewed the vouchers, so do you have a report for us, sir?
Yeah, we reviewed them today, didn't see any issues. We appreciate all the work that's being done there, so I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay. Moved by Counselor Alaman, I believe that was Counselor Gwaltney. Thank you for your work on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's 8-0. That passes. That's not a resolution, is it? Yeah, that's a resolution, 2461? Is that right? Okay. Okay, 61, okay. And Mr. Segrist, so 06/05/24, can you articulate that one more time for the council, and then we'll vote on this? Okay, thank you, Mr. Kendrick. Yeah.
Be resolved by the city council that the Truist Bank account is named as a deposit of the city, and the funds deposited with the bank and all accounts may be withdrawn upon written check, draft, note, or order of the city signed by two of the following. One, the mayor or Alex, and countersigned by Frank C. DeBoe and Rebecca York. And the bank is authorized in the case of savings or investment accounts to honor the written checks and any accounts maintained by the city and Truist Bank.
All right. So you've heard that read. Is there a motion to approve? This would be a resolution.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Smith, and then with us, Mr. Gwaltney. Any questions?
Counselor Jones, just a
Yes, sir.
procedural question, I'm sorry. Do we need to add this item to the agenda first?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. You're doing a great job tonight, Robert Shirley. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's move, let's see, we need a motion.
I'd make a motion to
First of all.
amend the other new business agenda to include item 06/05/24 to change the name on the Truist account.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Smith, second by Mr. Gwaltney.
And then I would make a motion to approve.
Second, let's
Okay.
vote on that.
Okay, so, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so to add it.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That's 8-0, that passes. And then we already had a motion.
Yeah, to,
But let's go ahead and get a fresh motion.
I'd move again to approve item.
A second again.
Okay, and then second by Mr. Gwaltney again to approve this item. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's 8-0, and that's resolution 2462.
I just started.
Yes, sir. Okay, you're welcome. The mayor's not here tonight, so JJ, do you have anything? Okay. I guess let's go ahead and have reports from everyone. We'll start with Mr. Gwaltney.
I will set, actually, let me double check. I do have one item left. I will set public safety for immediately following finance, and I have no other comments. Thank you.
Okay, great. Mrs. Gear.
No comments from Arts Council, but I did enjoy We Love Homewood Day in many ways, starting with Central Park with Counselor Smith for several hours, and then Counselor Sims later in the day, getting signatures and explaining about city manager and what those signatures mean, and that was a good day. And then riding the float, I'll definitely bring some more candy next time for the end of the road. And then the band was really good. I don't know if I didn't see any of you out there, but the band was really good Saturday night, and so it was a fun day. I think a lot of people enjoyed it. It was really crowded. I haven't been the last couple of years, but lots of folks in attendance. It was fun. Beautiful day.
Right, thank you, Mrs. Gear. Counselor Allen.
I have no comments tonight, thank you.
Okay, great. Counselor Wolverton.
I don't believe I have any agenda items, so I will not set Public Works unless I miss
don't
something.
believe you do.
I don't think anybody does but finance. That's crazy. May not see y'all next Monday night.
Yeah.
I may let y'all carry that one on your own.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And then, let's see, we have a Ward 2 meeting that will be next Wednesday. That would be May 15th at 6:30. We'll be meeting at Trinity West Homewood. And we plan to have an update from Tom Walker on the development that is going up in the neighborhood, as well as a variety of Ward 2 board reps there to have question and answer time for anybody that wants to come. And then I think, other than that, is there anything else? Yeah. Pancake breakfast is this Saturday for Troop 97. I've never seen my son so enthused about selling tickets, but he's gone door to door and sold all 20 each week. He's gotten a set of 20. So look forward to seeing that event, because I don't know that I've ever experienced it in person myself. I've had somebody bring me pancakes, but I've never been. So that's it for tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wolverton. Mr. Sims.
Yes, I just wanted to show appreciation to the city for We Love Homewood Day. Had a fantastic time. Taking my son to school, Jackson, to carpool on Friday morning. He said, "I can't wait for this weekend. This is my favorite holiday of the year."
Aw, that's so sweet.
Strong. He's going to want school out next time on Friday or something. So, Mrs. Smith.
Do you want to go ahead and set, you're at the end.
Yeah,
I
I'll go
forget.
at
You're
the end, but
fancy.
Finance will be at 5.
Yes. So to echo Melanie's comments, we had a great day out at We Love Homewood Day, the park and the parade. We met our goal of 100 signatures, and we called it a day because it was really, really hot out there. And I felt like I was on a recorder. I just said the same thing over and over and over again many, many times. But I think it was really good. People had curiosity and questions and were interested, and it was just really nice to talk to people. And thank you, Bo, for our float decorations. I don't know if you got C-3PO and R2-D2 back. We tried to get them off, and we didn't have a way to undo the zip ties. But we really appreciate your work on our float. We had fun. It was fun. And we are on the 16th of May at noon, we're going to be doing the ribbon cutting event at the fitness court over in West Homewood. We are going to have representatives from Blue Cross Blue Shield there. We are going to have a competition between our some of our police officers and some of our firefighters, a little fitness competition. Ms. Anderson and I have committed to wearing workout clothes and maybe doing some working out of our own. We'll see how that goes. We're going to have 2 men and a pig are going to be out there with their food truck doing a healthy chicken salad situation. And we would love for everybody to come out because they want there to be a big splash, the National Fitness Campaign folks and the Blue Cross Blue Shield folks. So please come at noon on the 16th if you can. I believe that press release went out today, so hopefully we'll have some media folks show up. And then the chamber lunch is going to be on Tuesday, May 21st, and Alex is going to be speaking about city manager, and it's going to be at the Valley Hotel, not the club, and we are going to have a table there, also hopefully getting some more signatures. So all of those wonderful things, and thank you. That's it. I don't have to set special issues.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Andrews.
I do not need to set P&D. I do want to thank Edgewood Elementary and Amber Broadhead for having me for Alabama Day. I did the same presentation I did last year, a couple of updated slides with some of the great things that we've done this year, like the park. The kids are very enthusiastic about that. But I spent, I did 2:30, like 3:0, like very thorough presentations, and the kids were very involved and very engaged and very sweet, and asked a lot of great questions, and I really enjoy being a part of that program. It's been a lot of fun to do that. And Amber, of course, everybody remembers, was the Alabama History Teacher of the Year for 2023, so I have to give her a shout out for that. So anyway, that's all I have.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Andrews. I just want to thank everyone for giving me grace and patience tonight as I went through the agenda, and I'm going to try to do better as I have to run future meetings. But I'm hoping he'll be back for the 20th, and so hearing none, yes.
Before we adjourn, I would like to make a motion to go into executive session, please.
Okay. We have a motion to go into executive session.
Well, what are we going to talk about?
Pending legal matters.
I have to give you that opinion. You're not knowing beforehand what we're going to talk about. You're going to be restricted to pending legal matters. Typically, I would know that.
Typically, yeah, you would.
The law requires an affirmative opinion from the attorney to do that. So I would just say that your discussions will be limited to pending legal matters.
All right.
Okay, well, we have a motion on the floor.
Second?
And our city attorney was not prepared to speak to it, but I guess it's the purview of the council as to what you'd like to do. If we get a second, then we'll have discussion.
Yeah, I guess we'll second.
Okay. All right, second by Mr. Wolverton. And discussion, I mean, I would just say, we probably need to be working with the city attorney if we want to do that, so there's prepared information for us. I mean, that's just my view on it, but are there other?
Do we have an anticipated duration?
Yeah, less than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Less than 10 minutes, okay. Okay, well, the motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Let's do roll call vote. Roll call. I mean, let's have a roll call vote.
Counselor Gwaltney?
Yes, sir.
Gear?
Yes?
Holloman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Jones?
No.
Smith?
No.
Andrews?
Yes.
Do you have a tally on that? I was trying-
6-2.
6. Okay, so that passes, and we'll go into executive session, and we'll be back in 10 minutes.